So, of course, we celebrate the outcomes and document and the acceleration plan you have shared with us. We both, as high-level champions, commit to taking this forward by supporting the momentum built within this important community. So we're absolutely thankful, and we believe your outcomes captured here are really important steps that will support the delivery of the Paris Agreement, the Nature-Based Solutions Manifesto presented by China and New Zealand last year, and the Leaders' Pledge to Nature presented 2 months ago. These are essential frameworks and action required to a more just, equitable, resilient, net zero emission and nature positive future. But let me refer to that much more concretely. We can and must enhance resilience, win the race to zero, and become nature positive by 2030. That would be my way to resume this amazing session. Carolina, Manuel, thanks so much. So Carolina, back to you, or should I introduce?
I'd love to just bring Nigel in and invite you to share your views as well.
He invites himself. You don't need to invite him.
Well, what am I supposed to be doing now? Am I back on?
You're invited.
We'd love to hear. I hand over to you both to wrap up the day. Thank you so much.
Do you want to go first, Gonzalo, or shall I go first? Should we just
No, I'll go first if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So definitely, as I was saying, Carolina and the whole team, what an incredible way to end the first week of the Race to Zero dialogues. We're extremely proud, while highlighting the importance of regenerative production at a global scale, hearing from young businesses, spoke people leading the way. Of course, we want to thank all the partners, Nature for Climate, the World Economic Forum, International Union for Conservation of Nature, CDP, the University of Oxford, WWF, UN Red, the Tropical Forest Alliance, and Business for Nature. Again, part of the diversity that we have seen is part of what is exciting us so much. In this last session, we're bringing together threads from the whole day, closing with an acceleration plan that is capturing nature's place in the race to zero. We know we cannot win the race if we don't have life, if we're not healthy, if we're not living on a healthy environment. So coming together of the whole nature and climate community across indigenous people, farmers, commodity supply chains, large-scale forest landscapes, a broad range of private sector people that live and work where these solutions are being implemented. I especially love the quote of the young today, signaling that the future is here, but it's not evenly distributed. For we remain with the need of committing to a more equitable green recovery. We've heard about this acceleration plan for the next 12 months with a tangible and very specific targets for 2021, like the commitment to increase support for an expansion of Leaders' Pledge for Nature from 70 plus to 100 plus countries. The commitment to have 15 countries use nature-based solutions to enhance their NDCs at COP26. The governments to work with private companies to deliver the first gigaton of high-quality emission reduction for nature-based solutions by COP26. As Crystal Davis said, we have now ambition and the foundation for success, because we have the information and the data. So now we need to make it available, more transparency, more reporting, making it visible for markets and consumers. We have to put a light on the risks and the opportunities. Yesterday, Nigel, we had a conversation about the engineers, right? And we spoke about this concept of they have missed a part of the equation where they were somehow optimizing so many aspects of the development that has framed the way we live now. And I think that part of the equation that they miss is the evidence that we saw today at the UNEP World Conservation Monitoring Center. So that it demonstrates the enormous potential that lies for humanity as we further integrate actions to save nature and combat climate change. We know that as we said, we need to stop deforestation, and in order to do that, we have to look at agriculture. And as you know, as I'm a farmer, I'm passionate about the nature-related agenda obsessed with soil capacity for restoring biodiversity and sequester carbon, but the biodiversity is one fabulous expression of the diversity that we need in so many aspects, including the diversity when it comes to the dialogues that you have been referring to the whole week. So having said that, I would pass it to you, for I believe that those dialogues, not to be a debate, but to be a way to search for all of what unites us, is a dialogue that should embrace diversity. So back to you, my friend.
Wonderful, thank you, Gonzalo. And I just echo, I'm really thrilled with the way the whole week has gone, and this day's been really rich. And I think actually today there's been this really great focus on actionable campaign objectives for the next year. I think Natalie nailed it. She said basically we're in motion. There's lots of good practice at all levels: citizens, local authorities, indigenous communities, businesses, investors, governments. I think we are approaching escape velocity. You know, we should be confident and lean in together. And some of the things that I've heard about nature-based solutions underpinning the work across all these dialogues, the UNEP report about conserving 30% of land could safeguard 500 gigatons of carbon stored in vegetation and soils. The NBS corporate mobilization campaign to recruit another 100 private sector players to incorporate NBS into their supply chains and strategies. Business for Nature, 50 more companies heeding their call to action, nature's everyone's business, and using that to drive the ambition loop, calling on governments to adopt policies. And I think I heard national governments, that, you know, the aim that we work together to get national governments to those 15 and more that you talked about to commit to increasing their ambition to, so it adds up to 10 gigatons by 2030. And you know, it's part of what Gonzalo and I fundamentally believe in is this is about systems transformation, and it means all of us mobilizing cities, indigenous communities, business investors, local authorities to take these practical steps which influence each other and inspire each other and drive this ambition loop. And Manuel mentioned bringing the finance ministers to the last COP, Gonzalo, which you arranged. And that's something that I know we're really keen to do, is in COP26, bring together these communities of action like we've seen today, bringing together, really bringing to life the pathways, along with appropriate ministers in Glasgow to keep that conversation moving forward. We've also heard about the importance of standards, you know, the guidelines of the like ICN's NBS standard. That's a very loud message. I've also had the wonderful pleasure of dropping in to the Youth Climate Summit today, end of 5 days in the UK. Amazing, see all these young people, primary kids, like 6-7-year-old kids and teenagers. The power of education. They're learning about just how much damage we have done and are doing, and they're being inspired to take action. There's a great campaign called Let's Go Zero, trying to get all 32,000 UK schools to commit to net zero by 2030. And it started in the UK. Gonzalo is going to take it to Chile, and then we hope it goes viral, and we have every country trying to get all their schools to get net zero 2030. I love the quote about the future's already here. It's just not even distributed. It's a William Gibson quote. He's one of my favorite science fiction authors. Science fiction authors are among the best people at imagining different futures. Sometimes dystopian, sometimes utopian, but they're the best at creatively imagining. So we're going to be launching a climate imagination project maybe early next year, which we're really excited about. We'll share more of that soon. And I think, given that I ended yesterday with a poem, and I missed it, but I hear Shah had a poem today, we're going to have to do a poetry competition next year as well. Net zero is just a signpost on the road to regeneration, to a regenerative economy, a regenerative society, a regenerative planet. We have great momentum. Everybody knows that we have passed a tipping point of awareness on nature-based solutions and the nexus of climate and nature. So let's lean in. Hindu reminds us that SDG 17 is all about partnership. Gonzalo and I talk about radical collaboration. It's a better brand than SDG 17, Hindu, but it's the same thing. It means all of us coming together, putting our personal and professional egos to one side to focus on the mission, the work that we're called to in service of healing and in solidarity to leave a better world for future generations. And the message of today: nature has a key place in the race. So wishing everybody a great weekend. We've got the energy dialogue on Monday, so I think we're going to need some sleep to make sure we've got enough energy to be in the energy dialogue on Monday. Thank you, everybody, for all the things, all the amazing work that you're doing all around the world. It's really wonderful to get a chance to listen and be inspired by all of you. And we look forward to another great week of Race to Zero dialogues next week. Thank you and good night.